call this meeting of the Trading Card Preservation Society to order. Matt F. here. This is part 2 of our premiere episode that we had to split in two. And in this episode, we talk about collectors who hoard copies of a single card. Dave talks about the football set 1999 playoff momentum, longer than anyone in recorded history. We talk about the return of Twin Peaks, starting your own junk wax battle, and of course your Q&A. And by the way, you can now subscribe and download the show on iTunes. Just search for Trading Card Preservation Society and you'll find us. On with the show.
So one of my personal, the players that I collect, one of my personal favorites is Choo Coleman. And he was a catcher for the Mets. He, it was famously, I guess you would say, not that intelligent. There's a lot of famous quotes for him. He wasn't the brightest bulb, I guess you could say. And he is only really on a handful of cards, a couple non-Topps related cards, but by far his rarest card, and one that I've been searching for quite a long time, is a 1966 Topps card. He is in the high numbers of that set, and I've sort of been looking casually for years just to find a nice card that at a reasonable price. And it's always sort of perplexed me. I know it was high series, but I don't know. I've never really... maybe this is a topic for another time, but I've sort of have trouble buying into the rarity of some of the high numbers. But on the other hand, I could not really ever find this card. And recently on Forbes, there was an article about Rick Edmonds, who is fanatical about collecting that very card, 1966 Choo Coleman from Topps, and has, hundreds of copies of it. And at the National Sports Card Show in Cleveland, he brought some of his collection, and it's just amazing how many he has. Myself, I sort of do the same thing, but with a non-rare card. Bill Cohen, 1972 Topps number 19. The halo of the stadium matches right over his head, and I like that card. I don't know. I'm not very religious, but I think it's sort of interesting how it looks. So, do you collect a particular card, multiple copies?
I haven't gotten into buying doubles just to have doubles. I saw recently another news story about some dude. He used to be a software designer. I think he actually made some Atari games back in the day, who is obsessed with 1964 Kurt Flood. Same way that this dude collects Choo Coleman. And, I don't see how one guy buying up 400 copies of a card can make it that much more hard to find on the market, especially for a common card. But as far as the Choo Coleman goes, I know exactly how you feel with Choo Coleman, because I have the exact same problem with Chichi Olivo from the 1966 high number set. 66 high numbers are just nasty hard to find anyway. There's a few high number series. I mean, the 52 high numbers, that has the legend of dumping a bunch of boxes into the Hudson and all that. But there's a few 60s sets with high numbers that are just diabolical. 1961 Topps high numbers are very difficult. 66 are just nasty. And I don't understand why they're so hard. I guess they just didn't get the sales those years. I guess you could check the bubblegum futures markets from those days, and that maybe people just stopped chewing bubblegum in October. But the 1972 high numbers are just as difficult. But yeah, that 66 is tough, and I've been looking for a Chichi Olivo card in any condition just to put into my team set. It's his rookie card. He's got a cool name. And every single copy I've ever seen has been high quality and cost $30. No matter where. I've seen it at 3 different places, and it's $30. And you can't even find a low grade copy. And it's just, I don't know, man. Those 66. but I feel your choo-choo pain.
My choo-choo pain. That's a good way to describe it. So
choo-choo and Chi-Chi.
Yeah, choo-choo and Chi-Chi. Yeah, there you go. So each episode we're going to try to do a focus on an older set that may have slipped past you. Today we're going to talk about the 1999 Playoff Momentum, which I have no idea. This is football, so I am out of my element a little bit.
Okay, this is my insanity right here. It's football season. There's lots of football going on. There's been more scandals than actual football this season for some reason.
Yes.
But it's still football season. People love football. So let's talk about a very odd set that no one's ever heard of and may never hear of again. 1999 Playoff Momentum. Now, people know Playoff as basically a Panini brand nowadays. The way they became a Panini brand is back in around 94, I believe, when baseball started getting big into the high-end products. Playoff decided to hop into the market with their own extremely high-quality cards. Their earlier sets, they all had this funky foil board type of stock that was very thick, and it wasn't your normal shiny foil board. It was more muted, but they had a very distinctive silvery style, and that lasted a few years until the late 90s when they started experimenting with different kinds of stock and different kinds of products. The one I have here is, again, Playoff Momentum from 2009, or not, 1999.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a few reasons why, of all the sets out there, I love this set. And I'm not really a big football collector anyway. I'm a Falcons fan, so that's caused me a lot of pain throughout the years. But this set is a little special because it's the year after the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. So you've got your Terrence Mathis and Chris Chandler, Jamal Anderson cards in here. It's not a particularly good rookie crop. I think the number 1 pick that year was Tim Couch. But there is Ricky Williams and Donovan McNabb and Champ Bailey. It's not a terrible rookie crop, but it's nothing that's gonna make you a mint. But the reason I like this set is it's a really crazy base set.
Yeah.
The first 100 cards are technically the base cards. It's a 200 card set split into 3 different sort of subsets. First 100 are base cards. They're your more common players. No huge stars. But this is a foil board set. Again, on thicker stock than you'd normally see. But it's foil board. There's a picture of the player that's sort of, I guess, die cut. And then in the well, not die cut, but it's what do you call it? Cropped. So the picture of the player's in color. Everything else is black and white, and then behind the player, the foil board is actually etched. So you've got the team logo, and then this funky, like, almost a refractor type of micro etching. So if you shift the card back and forth, you see, you know, a little spiral of light kind of dancing around the player. It's a neat effect. The backs of the card are basically another full color picture. There's a card number, there's a name, there's one line of stats with a career line for stats. So basically there's foil board on the front, there's a full color picture on the back, and it's just a nice looking but odd looking set. So that's cards number 1 through 100. They're your base cards. Cards 101 to 150, those are your stars. Those are the Emmitt Smiths and the Deion Sanders, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. All your big names are there. They are inserted 1 per pack. So already we have short prints in this set that I supposedly love. The difference between these cards and the base cards is these are full acetate. So these are plastic, clear cards, see-through cards that have the same design as the base cards, but instead of the foil etching, they have kind of see-through and a holographic team logo behind the player. So, they kind of remind me a little bit of Topps Tech. If you know what those cards look like, these are very similar. And just a good-looking card. Now for cards 151 to 200. These are the rookies. Now, you know, with football, you gotta have your rookies. Rookies drive the product.
Yeah.
And again, not a great rookie crop, not a terrible one, a decent one. These cards are also acetate, but they have that funky etching on them, like the base cards. So these even look different from the normal acetate cards. The other difference is these are not 1 a pack, these are 1 in 5 packs.
Wow.
So they're kind of tough to get. If you buy Hobby Box, that had 16 packs in it. You know, you're getting 3 rookies per Hobby Box. Hobby Boxes were pricey at the time. So it's not an easy set to build. But I just like the way it looks. I like the acetate cards. I like the fact that the base cards look really nice. So now on to the inserts. It's got a pretty normal insert crop. There's your parallel card. Every set has to have a parallel card. This has X's and O's. Basically, they're the base cards die cut in the form of kind of an X with a circle in the middle of it. That's how you get the X's and O's. X's are numbered to 300, O's are numbered to 25. So there's your parallels. There's also a insert set called Stargazing that has several levels of parallels: blue, green, red, and then I believe gold are autographed. Few other insert sets. One's a chart toppers. That's basically your stat set. There's a rookie recall that goes through rookies from past years. The one I have is Marshall Faulk from '94. There's a G-Force, or Gridiron Force, that's basically got holographic foil on both sides. Look pretty nice. Has a good selection of stars. Playoff was known for their rookie quads, which was a foil etched card with 4 rookies. on the card, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And one last die cut set called Hog Heaven that was textured like a football and die cut with the football jutting out of one corner. So it was a typical 90s product. Several layers of inserts. Some of them were die cut, some of them were textured. They did have Big Mojo hits, as we would call them today. One of the levels of the stargazing insert was autographed, and I think I've got a Jamal Anderson out of that for a typeset. But the real reason I love this stupid, goofy, ridiculous, short-printed football set from the 90s is their last insert set, which is Team Thread's checklist. So why is a checklist insert set, and back in the 90s checklists were perfectly good subjects for an insert, why is a checklist set my favorite?
What a good question. Why is it?
Why? Okay, here is why. There was it's a team checklist, so it's got a checklist for every team, which back then was, how many? 30? So we got, 32. So we have 32 checklists, one per team. And on the front is a picture of a star from the team. I'm looking at a page now, and I see Dan Marino, Drew Bledsoe, Peyton Manning, Keyshawn Johnson, Barry Sanders, Brett Favre. The main star of the team, whoever it was. On the back are basically tiny little thumbnail pictures of each player from that team in the set. I'll give you an example. The Falcons team set has Tim Dwight, Terrence Mathis, Jamal Anderson, Chris Chandler, Reginald Kelly, Jeff Polk. So you got a 6-card team set for the Falcons. Some teams only have like 3 or 4 players. Other have up to, I think, 9, depending on star quality and I guess rookie quality. There's actually 2 other things on each of these checklists, and that is a relic swatch. So Playoff made an insert checklist that actually had a swatch of a jersey on the front, a little football-shaped swatch right at the bottom. But wait, there's more. You turn it over, there's another swatch of a jersey on the back at the top, on top of their logo.
They need the world's largest top loader.
Yeah. So you've got an extra thick card with 2 swatches on it. And the best part about these swatches is back then relic cards were fairly new. But one thing you could count on is that there would be some sort of provenance on the back. It's like, this is an official Dan Marino jersey, or this is from so-and-so game.
Yeah, I know, it was really great.
Or even I've seen some where they take a picture of the actual jersey and they put that on the back. There is nothing on these cards.
Yeah.
There's not even an acknowledgement that there is laundry on these cards at all. And the swatches are kind of ridiculous. They honestly look like the cheapest practice jerseys you can find. You know how football jerseys, like high school football jerseys, have those really big holes in the mesh? Well, that's what these look like.
Oh, really?
And there's a couple, I've got a Dan Marino one here where it's got a bit of the number and the number is screen printed on. So
Wow.
God only knows where these things came from. My
crazy.
pride and joy out of all of them is my Brett Favre checklist, because on the front, right on top of Brett's crotch, is obviously like the collar of whatever practice jersey he's using, because it's twice as thick as all of the other swatches. It almost looks like a sweater, and it's got a big stripe going right down the middle. A green swatch with big yellow stripe on the middle. And it's just glorious. And it's so cheesy, and it's so ridiculous to put not one but two unknown relic swatches, which honestly they could have come from Goodwill. I don't even know where the heck they found these. Just throw them on a checklist.
Conspiracy Dave. How close are you on finishing it?
I think I'm one card away from the base set. I'm missing a couple of the veteran acetate card, and I'm missing a whole ton of rookies, unfortunately. I probably have about half of the rookies. I've checked on check out my cards, and there's a lot of them on there. Next time I get a little cash, I could probably knock out a good chunk of the set. And the big thing is I'm 3 or 4 cards away from the checklist set. I do need the Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, but most of them are not that expensive, especially since nobody knows where any of these relics are from. So I think the Barry Sanders checklist was about $13.
Have you ever priced unopened boxes? Like, is there a life to the set afterwards, like collectors like you, or?
Unopened boxes, I haven't found any.
Oh, really?
Not since the late '90s. A lot of that stuff dried up really quickly. And I don't look for football cards, but I haven't found any of these either out in the wild. So it's kind of a really obscure set.
Yes.
It's a ridiculous set. If there's anybody out there who collects it, just let me know. I've got a pile of stuff hiding somewhere in my football boxes, and I'll just give it to you. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. If you've followed me on my blog for the past however many years, and you were asked what set does this idiot collect, no one would ever pick this set. But I love it. It's just a dumb 90s set, and I got obsessed with it when it came out, and I'm still kind of obsessed with it. But I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, checklist relics are definitely something that have to come back somehow.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't this catch on?
I know, right?
So that's my dumb football set.
Yes, if you're sitting on the 99 playoff momentum unopened boxes, if you're waiting for the right time, this may be it.
Yeah.
Get in touch with Dave.
While doing my research for this, there was a forum post on, I think it was Blowout Forum, about a moderator over there who actually collects this set seriously, and he picks off all the rookies as soon as he can find them.
Oh, really? You got some competition?
Yeah, I've got competition, but that's my set. If you just Google it, we'll try to post some of these photos somewhere. We're not sure what we're doing yet, but once we figure out what we're doing,
definitely,
we'll start posting some of these images so you can see.
Yeah. Another thing returning to the world of television is Twin Peaks. Are you excited about this?
I am very excited about this. That is one of those shows that I'm going to have to just take a week off of work and blow through it on Netflix or whatever. I watch Twin Peaks quite religiously. It came out when I was a senior in high school, and I watched it every night it was on, even though the night kind of changed every couple of months. And it was kind of that first obsession with a TV show for a lot of people my age. Because I remember every morning after it was on, I'd talk to some dude in homeroom about the show. And my mom was into it, so we were dissecting every little thing that happened, and just the shock when they finally revealed who killed Laura Palmer, which I inadvertently called, by the way.
Really?
A couple of months before it happened, I was making a joke at school. It's like, well, you know, it's going to be something ridiculous like X who killed her. And I called it. I wish I had audio of that. To prove it.
Yeah.
But, I literally thought of the most ridiculous person that couldn't possibly have killed Laura Palmer, and he friggin' did it.
Yeah, I'm sort of new to the series. Of course, I've heard about it as a kid, but I never watched it as a kid, and never. I tried watching the pilot. I would say 3 times. The third time, it finally stuck, and I made it through. And that original group of episodes, the first season, is really excellent.
Oh, yes.
I think a lot of people are sort of forgetting. Having just watched it, I would say 2 months ago, how exactly bad it gets towards the end.
They didn't really know what the heck to do with Series 2, I don't think. And it kind of went off the rails. I guess if they were given a little longer with it, I don't think they even got all the way through the second series. They may have figured out something to do, but I really think they had the first season really locked down hard, because that season is so tight and so good that I think it took them by surprise, and they had to jump into a second season.
Right.
Which some of the people I know who watched Lost had the same kind of opinion on that show, where they sort of lost their way in the middle and finally had to pull it together. But first season is absolutely brilliant. Second season, I don't know if they either didn't know what they were doing and were trying to make it up as they were going along, or they didn't have long enough to get through whatever they were trying to do.
And I love the weird surreal things. I mean, that a lot of people point to that as what's stupid, or what shows the show went off the rails. I mean, that is sort of for me, is the saving grace.
Well, that's the whole reason for the show. I mean, it's basically
the storylines of I don't know. I don't know. It's not really ruining anything, but I mean, the amnesia storyline with the mechanic's wife, or the aliens in the end. I mean, it's just sort of clearly. I mean, once you discover who Laura Palmer's killer is and sort of what that involves, I don't know where you go. And unfortunately, it was too popular to just have a mini-series or a micro-series. But I hope that the new Showtime show has nothing to do with Laura Palmer. I would just like to see it, 20, 25 years later.
Actually, in the show, I believe Laura Palmer says at one point, or the ghost of Laura Palmer, or the whatever spirit ate part Laura Palmer, or whatever the hell happened to Laura Palmer.
Yeah.
The actress who played Laura Palmer got in front of the camera and said, "I'll see you in 25 years."
Right.
So I wouldn't count on there being no Laura Palmer, but I'm not sure if you've seen the follow-up movie, or I guess it's more of a prequel, honestly, Fire Walk With Me. But honestly, anything could happen, and that's one of the reasons why Twin Peaks fans are flipping out right now, because literally the sky is the limit, and David Lynch can do anything he wants because he is David Lynch, and because he's on Showtime now, so he can basically go all out. You know, he can go full Blue Velvet if he wants.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy, yeah. As long as we get to see, you know, I need to see Linda,
yeah,
the lady in the tape
there you go.
that he talks to throughout both seasons, and I need closure on that.
Nice. Well, he does have cell phones now, so.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, I suppose.
There
You can just talk to Siri.
But, yeah, really looking forward to that. I have no idea how I'll watch it because I do not have cable, and no one I know has Showtime, but I'm sure I'll figure some way out.
I can just imagine there's going to be so many write-ups about what everything means. I mean...
Oh, absolutely. And this happening in the age of Twitter and blogs and the internet, holy smokes. I'm really looking forward to it.
So back to another card-related news item here. Now, do you buy lots of stuff from checkoutmycards.com?
I usually do a once-a-year splurge where I'll go on there and drop a Jackson, maybe a Hamilton along with it, and you know, basically pick up as many cards as I can, look for some bargains. What I did last time was knock out a lot of my Ellen and Ginter needs. Had a few short prints here and there that I couldn't find anywhere else. Not at the local card shop, not at the card show. So I just basically finished my 2006 to 2013 Ginter sets, and then filled up the rest of my cart with cheap Jason Taylor cards. And,
yeah, they always have good Black Friday sales. I usually at least buy at least a whole bunch of cards on Black Friday with their cheap shipping. I usually buy my cards if I have trouble getting a trade together. I'll buy cards from them. Well, if you haven't been there in the past, 6 months, you'll notice that they've been going through this process of basically they've had to reorganize all their cards, number-wise, like identifying numbers of cards, who's on the card, what set it belongs to, what team it's with. This is because Beckett, everyone's love them or hate them, they have the pricing of cards sort of in their back pocket, and they were in agreement with Check Out My Cards for several years, in which they sort of provided checklists and pricing of cards, book values. And back in, this was back in July, they filed a lawsuit against Check Out My Cards that they were in breach of contract with them with sharing the pricing information and checklists. And it's sort of an interesting thing because Check Out My Cards really they've been going through this set where you could earn credit on the site by sort of playing a game, like identifying cards for them. And even now when you search, like I search for, my personal collection is Andy Pafko is one of my favorites, from the Braves and the Dodgers and the Cubs. And his cards, they'll be just random cards that aren't Andy Pafko coming up in searches. And so they're trying to do their best to get it together. But it's sort of, I would say Check Out My Cards is the leading card site outside of eBay. And Beckett, it's sort of interesting to see them battling over breach of contract stuff.
Yeah, I know when I do search for a card on Google now, I can tell when a link is going to send me to Check Out My Cards when I see those question marks in the search result. There's a whole lot, especially the obscure or less popular sets and sports. You might see the year, you might see the name of the guy, but a whole lot of other information is just question marks right now, and I do know a few people who have taken advantage of this, earned some, I guess, COMC bucks by basically crowdsourcing their new checklist, which is a good idea for what they need to do. They got, with this Beckett thing, got into a little bit of a pickle, and they've taken a very ingenious way of getting out of it.
Mm-hmm. I always thought it was interesting that you could, Beckett is so, so controlling of their guide prices and their checklists that you could basically find the information on Check Out My Cards pretty easily. They usually state the book value, and they would, reduce their prices from there and tell you what kind of discount you would have. And so, it was confusing a little bit at the time with Beckett letting them do that or going to an agreement with it. And I have a feeling that, my conjecture is that they saw something in the terms of people buying Beckett products or Beckett price guide information going down. That's my conspiracy.
Yeah, I think from what I've read of the whole lawsuit, basically, Check Out My Cards had some sort of agreement in place. You'd really need to read everything Lesko has written on to truly understand what the heck is going on. But they had some sort of agreement in place. And I guess when Check Out My Cards was smaller, it benefited Beckett in order to, it basically gave them some free advertising targeted at people who would go out and buy Beckett's. I guess when they got bigger, Beckett saw it as a threat. People would just go to Check Out My Cards instead of buying their product, which, and I understand exactly why Beckett wants to protect their prices, their numbers as much as they can. That's their product. That's what they make their money on. In the olden days, there was a lot of articles, a lot of other things that they sold with their price guides, but nowadays it's the numbers, and those numbers rule the hobby to a certain extent. And when you have something like that, you have to protect it. But as you can see, with a lawsuit going on, it didn't end well between Check Out My Cards and Beckett. And I think the whole thing is Beckett wanted anyone who wanted the Beckett prices, they had to have a Beckett subscription. So, not much different from a lot of the other online entertainment options. If I want to watch Premier League soccer on NBC Online or whatever, I've got to punch in my cable provider, which I don't have, so I don't watch NBC Premier League Online. I watch the BBC or whichever British channel is streaming at the time. So I can see why Beckett would want to protect that, and I can see why Check Out My Cards is kind of angry that they dumped the agreement they had with them. And I guess the courts will sort it out, because I have no idea what's going on. I did read the most recent post, and it looks like whether the author is just a bigger COMC fan than Beckett, I guess. I don't know the best way of saying it.
Yeah,
because I haven't read a lot of his posts, but in his most recent article, he seemed to say COMC had the better argument of the two, but.
Right, I think everything's sort of pending here, and if you want to know a lot more information about it, check out the Law of Cards post through the cardboardconnection.com. What we're referencing is articles written by Paul Lesko. So he has a lot of exact wording from the replies and the statements made by each side. So it's quite a lengthy blog post. There's a treasure trove of information there.
A lot of information.
So let's have some positive, uplifting thoughts and a non-sports card segment. I'm of course referring to the Black Lotus poll that recently appeared on YouTube. Do you want to describe it?
Yeah, Magic the Gathering. This is really the biggest trading card game out there. It's been going on since 1993, and I remember a whole lot of people playing it in college. I never really got into it at all until after college. I kind of regret all the money that I spent on 1993 Topps when I should have been buying Beta. But what happened here is, I can't remember the name of this YouTube channel, but basically they focus specifically on Magic the Gathering, opening packs, opening boosters, and what they opened in this recent video was I guess it was like a starter deck from Alpha, which was the very first Magic set.
The YouTube set is Open Boosters.
Okay. And there's the thing with Alpha packs are they are extremely rare. I think they were only distributed in the Pacific Northwest for a limited period of time, and it's exactly like an Alpha release for software. Very limited. There's first go at it. Let's get it out there, see if it works, and then once it was successful, they came out with a beta set, which was more widely released. But the Alpha is basically the rookie card of Magic sets. There are several cards there that have not been reprinted. One of them is the Black Lotus, and the reason for that is because it was a new game, because this was the very first card set that came out. They quickly found out that there were certain cards that, even though they were rare cards and you didn't see a lot of them, when someone got one of those in their deck, they could basically break the game. Black Lotus was one of these cards. I don't remember the specific combination, but Black Lotus, I think the way Magic works, the game itself, is you have a card, a deck, which is called your spell book, and each card is like a spell, and you play these cards to inflict damage upon your opponent, and whoever inflicts the most damage wins. So, in order to cast a spell, you have to have mana, and in order to have mana, you play these cards called lands. These are your basic dirt commons. Everybody has lands because you can't play the game without lands. A Black Lotus was a card that could get you mana just with this item.
Right, I see an image of the card that says adds 3 mana to any single color of your choice to your mana pool, then is discarded. Tapping this artifact can be played as an interrupt.
So, the way this combo worked is if you put it with a couple of other cards, which I don't believe were as rare, you could basically win the game in one move. But if you were able to draw these cards in your initial hand, you throw out a certain spell that casts a certain number of damage based on how much mana you had. And then you could throw the Black Lotus out there along with another card to basically get a one-hit kill in the game. And it was happening everywhere, and they realized very quickly that this is one of the cards that breaks the game. So the only place you can find this is in the alpha packs, I believe. And it's never been reprinted. I don't even think in some of the... I know Magic has had a lot of sets where they've recycled cards, but they've never actually reprinted this card. So if you want a Black Lotus, you gotta find it from Alpha, which is rare, and it's a rare card from Alpha, so it's rare. It's comparable to 53 Tops Willie Mays, which is not only in the scarce high series, but it's a short printed high series card, and it's the best short printed high series card. So Black Mana or Black Lotus equals 1953 Tops Willie Mays, except it's way more valuable. So
right, each alpha set has 60 cards, and basically you'd have 58 commons, or not really rare cards, and 2 rare cards at the end.
Normally how those decks, and they still work that way, there's a number of fixed cards that you have to have in order to play the game. And then you get a selection of commons and uncommons, and then that 1 or 2 rare card to...
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, just search Black Lotus Magic. Again, it's Open Boosters channel. And they do a couple things here that I think definitely baseball card breakers have to do. Definitely wear the blue gloves. The guy who records it has blue gloves as he's cutting and touching everything.
Yep,
so
no fingerprints.
No fingerprints anywhere. Looks like a crime scene from Dexter in his video.
Alien autopsy.
And when he pulls it, I mean, it's like you can tell his hands are shaking, and he even calls a shot in the video itself, where he says, "Is it going to be a Black Lotus?" And well,
it was, and right after another fairly good card as well, dual land card, which actually caused a little controversy because there was a few forums that were saying, well, this had to be staged or faked because you couldn't actually get those 2 cards in a starter deck, which was true for beta. There was some sort of collation that they figured out. If you get such a rare card in a deck, you're going to get another rare card, or there are certain rare cards you could get just by the way that it was packaged. But I found out later that that was not the case in Alpha. You could get whatever in Alpha. So no rules. They didn't know what they're doing, just like us with this podcast. So this is the Alpha.
Yeah, right.
Will you get a Black Lotus at the end?
Yeah, this is the Alpha. Yeah, right. So, one thing we both love to do, we definitely took part in it not knowing at the time, but is breaking junk wax. It's a fun hobby to do, and recently there's sort of a new twist on that idea. We're coming all the way back around to when you mentioned, Ben Henry and the baseball card blog. Is this new idea called the junk wax battle. And if you aren't excited by junk wax,
why not?
Then how could you not be excited? But this is a way to sort of make it a little more exciting, a little more interesting, in which the object of the game is basically to complete a set as quickly as you can. A couple articles recently about this of actually, groups of people trying to do this. They did it with 1988 Donruss. And wouldn't you know it, the correlation was so bad that, not correlation, collation was so bad that no one could actually win the game because they were missing huge chunks of cards.
Yeah, I still don't have a...
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea, and it's a way to take all that junky crap that you have tons of, and have fun with it, which, I mean, that's the whole point of the hobby, is to have fun with this stuff. And they apparently got a bunch of 88 Donruss boxes for $4 a throw, which is about right. Yeah, especially if you buy them in bulk. I bet if you went to a dealer and said, let me buy that case of 88 Donruss, he'll just, he'll haul it to your car for you. And it's a way to rip packs cheaply, having fun doing so, and doing it with some of your buddies. They had some bad luck with collation, and I don't think anyone got a set.
I don't think so. But
they had fun, and I think Ben got the coveted Greg Jeffries rookie card. So gotta love that. They're still feeling their way through it too, and maybe they'll fine tune their own card game. So.
Yeah, an interesting idea would be to have two people, one to rip and one to get in order. That's an interesting idea of how to improve it. To be honest with you, it's hard to get a lot of people in the same room excited about baseball cards. I think sometimes, so that's maybe the biggest problem, is finding some friends.
There could be a tournament at the next National up in where is it, Chicago?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, definitely.
There's a whole lot of ways that you can improve this or tweak it. Every time I go to a card show, I see an old box of Skybox basketball. For like $5 a pop. Get a couple of those, and hey, maybe you will get a maybe you will get a complete set out of the couple of boxes. Smaller set size. Get a 200 card set instead of a 660 card set. But hey, it's just one of those ways that. Just because you can't go out and buy, 60 cases of a high-end product to fill out your PC and then flip the rest doesn't mean you can't have fun with cards. Just go, drop a 20 at the card show on Junk Wax and find a couple of buddies and card battle.
Now the 88 Donruss set that's Dale Murphy, right, on the box.
Yeah, that's Dale Murphy on the box.
I love that stuff.
Got the Tom Glavine rookie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, love that box. Not crazy about the set, simply because I have so much of it, and I still don't have even close to a complete set. Because the collation really is that bad.
Yeah.
And I bought a bunch back in the day. They had these. I hesitate to call them rack packs, but they're more like blister packs. They had 3 pockets.
Right. I remember those.
And I think they even had a special Kirby Puckett card that you could cut off the back.
Oh yeah.
But I bought a ton of those, and I really think I'm still missing about 100 cards from that set. So I have a bad taste in my mouth from that. But all that old junk is cheap and it's fun, especially for people who lived through that era. You can chase that Greg Jeffries rookie card that was so freaking expensive back in the day, and now it's not worth the cardboard it's printed on. But hey, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. One feature we'll have, hopefully, each episode of the podcast is to highlight a blog that we find particularly interesting or doing something really cool. This week this episode, will feature baseball card vandals. Now this is I mainly found them through Twitter. They're at it's BSBL card vandals, so like baseball card vandals, and they basically take a card and modify it and make it better. So they'll take. It's hard to describe, explaining, talking about what it looks like, but they'll basically take a magic marker to a card, cross out what they don't want, and add what they do want. And so you get, like a Dan Quisenberry card, they'll make into a play on Lord Song Royals, or they'll take, and I gotta be honest with you, some of these are a little bit risque.
They're X-rated.
Some are X-rated. Some are just for fun. And the interesting twist here is almost all these are available for purchase. And they have their website is baseballcardvandals.com, and you can buy things at shopbaseballcardvandals.com. And they're not that cheap. I don't understand if anyone has ever actually bought them. Bought a card, but usually they're like $20. $20 a card or more, and it's really something you have to see to sort of believe. Some of these are very good. Some of them are a little, a little risque or a little childish, but there's a lot of drawn penises on them.
Lots of dicks. Lots of them.
So let's go through the exciting tops, or not tops. Well, a lot of these are tops, but the new release calendar. So we've got coming up in baseball. October 15th was 2014 Tops update.
Which is live.
Yeah, it's live already. October 29th, Topps Heritage High Numbers. Did you do Heritage this year?
I did. Basically, my policy on Heritage right now is Braves team sets for each year of Heritage. And if a set really speaks to me, like last year's 64 set, I'll collect it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on the 64. But this year I really like it, but it's not something I'm going to chase down the set, because a set of Heritage is not an easy task. There's so many short prints, and the short prints are not as easy to get as in Kinter. So if I really love the set, I'll go for it. I know the next one I will be collecting is the 72.
Yeah.
If we get that far, but
I have faith.
but right now I have to dial it back. But
yeah, I'm always a sucker for the full chrome versions of the Heritage cards, but
yes.
I always get bogged down with the short prints, the short print setup they do on Heritage. So. Also, October 29th, Topps Supreme Baseball, and November 5th, Topps High Tech Baseball. That's tech with a K. Definitely something we're going to be talking closer to it.
Yes. I have no idea what Supreme is, but High Tech is basically a reimagining, I believe, of the old Topps Tech cards of the late 90s, which will be interesting to see what they do. It's I think they've high-ended it, so it's. Which back in the day it was technically high-end.
Well, back in the day it was like technically impossible to collect a set,
Exactly, with all the variations. But so it will be interesting to see exactly how they end up working that set.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because You can't do it the way it was done in 1998 or 99. Yeah. It's just not feasible. But how do they keep that feel while still remaining a modern product? So that'll be interesting.
As long as
a lot to talk about.
As long as the cards are transparent, I'm fine.
Yeah, shiny and see-through, yeah. And I will pick up every single I can find. But really, I don't even know right now. We'll have to wait and see.
Basketball, I mentioned just because Upper Deck makes cards for basketball still. So October 15th is probably definitely live by now. 2014-2015 Upper Deck Letterman is coming out. Football, we're still in the era of, both Panini and Topps are making cards still. Although it's going to come to an end soon. But so 1024, which was yesterday, or Panini Playbook Football, which I would never buy, but I definitely enjoy watching people rip open this product. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not familiar with that. Isn't there a Panini basketball product that released?
Yes, they have Playbook and basketball too.
Okay, is that the $200 retail box? Or
it's not a box. It's literally like a manila envelope, sort of like a playbook, and it basically has four. Last time I remember, it has four sort of individual packs of one card, and so it's a fun. I mean, the videos like on Cards Infinity, their YouTube channel. I mean, the packs would take like a minute to rip, and it's like money down the drain. But so that's coming to football. And also, Topps of Valor is arriving for football. Topps Triple Threads on 10/29, and which is identical pretty much to baseball. And sometime in October, and I'm sort of intrigued by this, Upper Deck is coming out with CFL cards.
Yeah, I've seen them tweet about that quite a bit, which sounds interesting because, I mean, hey, they've got a league.
Yeah.
Why not have some cards?
Exactly.
I know every few years a CFL set pops up. I've actually got a CFL card from the 70s. I think it's the Edmonton Eskimos.
Yeah.
The reason I picked it up is because on the back it mentioned the guy played for the Falcons at one point. So I thought, well, this is just too cool. And there was also the Rocket Ismail set from the late 90s or early 90s that was hot for about 5 minutes, and then it ended up in the dollar stores.
I was just going to say, as long as they have a Rocket Ismail autograph, then I'll be taking a look.
There you go. And then, Upper Deck, they don't have the big license, so hey, let them do whatever they can do.
Yeah.
Throw it up against the wall, see what happens.
For hockey, we got a few days ago, 10/22, Upper Deck with a Cup came out, and I definitely saw a lot of that being pulled on Twitter. Non-sports, we've got 10/22, a set that you're looking forward to. 2014 Rittenhouse James Bond Archives.
Yeah, that intrigues me because I've kind of went on a non-sports bender last year. There was a comic and card shop at a flea market near me that was actually closing down because they were moving to Florida. So I got basically a instant non-sports collection on the cheap from them because they just didn't want to haul all that crap down to Florida. So and looking through non-sports cards, which I hadn't really done before, Rittenhouse has a really high quality product, and I liked most of the sets that I saw from Rittenhouse. A lot of attention to detail, good subject matter, and the card stock and printing was quality. And this looks interesting because from what I saw from the sell sheet, is there's it's kind of an interesting set as far as its breakdown. They've got a main set which is focused on one James Bond movie, which I can't recall at the moment, unfortunately. And then there's actually a couple of other sets that are, I guess, short printed in a way. I think there's one that's one in a pack, and then there's another one that's one in 6 packs, and there's actually 3 sets in this release, as well as the autographs and inserts and all that kind of stuff. So, I guess if you're a fan of one of the short printed movies, it's not that good, but it looks interesting. Is all I can say. And once it does release, I'd like to see either a rip or some cards from the set to just get a gander at it.
And last but not least, on Halloween, we've got Topps with another Garbage Pail Kids series. Which,
I love that.
Yeah. I'm trying to collect all the mat cards, but there's a lot of variations on mats, so and there's a lot.
I'll have to look through my doubles and see if I got any mats you need.
Yeah, but there's a couple in the original series. So on to from San Jose Fuji. Who would win in a battle to end all battles, Jar Jar Binks or C-3PO?
Oh Lord.
There's a clear answer to this, I think.
Battle to end all battles. God.
As much as I hate C-3PO, as much as I hate Jar Jar Binks, we all saw what happened to C-3PO in Empire Strikes Back, and so I really think it'd be Jar Jar all the way.
C-3PO was not made out of the indestructible stuff that R2-D2 is made out of, and Jar Jar Binks is so just, he's a force of nature, really, and I can see Jar Jar just sort of sweeping through and leaving a little pile of golden scrap metal in his wake, and not really knowing that he did it. He'd probably, if they were in a battle to the death, he'd probably murder C-3PO by accident, and go around the entire spaceport or whatever, looking for C-3PO so he could kick his ass, and basically calling him out for being a coward. So yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. Jar Jar by accident.
Also from San Jose Fuji, what's your favorite baseball card set design in the past decade?
That's
let's just do flagships.
Flagships.
My answer is pretty easy.
Yeah, you go first while I try.
Sure. Well, you do. My favorite all-time set is 1971 Topps, and so I would go in the past decade with the 2007 Topps and the black border again.
Yeah, I would actually have to go with one of the Upper Deck sets. I think it's 2008. It might be 2009, but the one that's just a full bleed border, and it has the very simple foil name at the bottom. I know a lot of people don't like that set, but it's sort of a very simple design for me that takes you back to just the basics of card design. It's the focus is on the subject, and you know who made the card, you know what the guy's name is, you know what the team is. Just focus on the picture. And
yeah, I think you're describing the 2008
yeah,
deck.
But because all the other designs that I love, they're all basically retro designs. I have favorite heritage designs. I love the 60 Topps design. I love the 63 Topps design. I love the 64 Topps design. I love Allen and Ginter. I adore Gaudy. 2007 Gaudy is one of my favorite sets of all time. But those are all designs from 40, 60, 100 years ago. But for a modern card, I really like the Stadium Club design from this year. It's about the picture, which really, for a modern baseball card, that's what it should be.
Okay, also from San Jose Fuji, would Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens receive your Baseball Hall of Fame vote?
Absolutely. They're two of the best players of all time. Yeah, they did steroids, so did a lot of other people. 20 years from now, people are going to be wondering what the big fuss about was with steroids when, people have bionic elbows and
and chips in
their eyes. It's
yeah, right.
I mean, okay, yeah, fine, they technically cheated, but so did Gaylord Perry, so did Whitey Ford. So did,
Phil Necro.
Don't talk about Phil.
I agree with you on that one.
I mean, and if it's somebody like Mark McGwire, who was basically a home run machine, and that's about it, then yeah, we have more of a debate here. But Barry Bonds could be the greatest hitter of all time. Roger Clemens was one of the best power pitchers in history. It's possible that likely that his career was extended and he had a more quality into his career than a power pitcher normally would have, but he's still one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And sure, okay, fine, they took steroids, I don't care. They were Hall of Famers with or without. And quite honestly, there's a whole lot of people in the 90s and 2000s that were with. So let's honor the best players in the game. Definitely, if you've got a borderline case, leave them out. But those two are just so slam dunk. You gotta let them in.
This one's from San Jose Fuji. What would you rather see disappear from our hobby? Sticker autographs or redemption cards? I personally, I don't rip high-end, so I've never had the frustration of pulling a, Michael Jordan redemption or, some kind of a Sandy Koufax redemption. Something that it's a possibility that they'll never sign, or, a Joe Mauer who, I guess, was, synonymous with not signing. I love picking up a redemption that hasn't been fulfilled on sort of like a lower tier autograph, something like that. I like getting cards in the mail from Pops. I don't know, it's sort of a fun thing for me. And so I never urgently needed the card immediately in that sort of scenario. I understand how people feel about that, but
yeah,
I like redemptions.
I've never had a problem.
Go to hell for all I care.
I've never had a problem with redemption cards, honestly. Only twice have I ever not gotten what I sent in. The first time was actually the first the redemption card I ever got. I bought it off of an auction site. Eddie Belfour is one of my favorite hockey players. This was from a Stadium Club product, and it was for Eddie Belfour stick. And I thought I was going to get the whole stick. But no, it was a stick card.
A piece of a stick.
A piece of a stick. Which I would have been happy with, but they never got that either. So I ended up getting two autographs, two relic cards of the same guy from a completely different team. I think it was, I just remember it was a blue team. I wanted a red team, and I got a blue team. And it was two of the same guy, and I got a pack of Stadium Club. But I completely butchered that whole thing anyway, so I don't even hold that against Topps. That was an idiot purchase, and I learned from it. The other one, I pulled a Jesse Ventura relic card from, I think, American Pie or one of the Heritage, right. American Heritage or one of those. And I didn't get Jesse Ventura, but I did get Eric Estrada. So, you know, I'm perfectly happy with that. Wasn't exactly what I wanted, but, you know, it's Eric Estrada. As far as sticker autographs go, as long as you put them on a card that was designed for sticker autographs, I don't have a problem with them. My problem is, you know, they get sheets and sheets and sheets of stickers signed, and then they just slap them on anything. Because there's a lot of autograph cards that are designed with either a little window where the sticker autograph can go underneath that look really good, or the card itself is designed for a specific spot for the sticker and it looks good. When they just slap a sticker auto on a regular card and say, well, now it's an autograph card, nah. That would be what I abolished from the hobby forever, is poorly used stickers. I don't mind sticker autographs when they're done well.
I agree. Stickers can, like I said, stickers can go to
hell.
From Jedi Jeff, what set really needs to go away? Whether it's ugly, a money grab, useless, whatever. I personally feel that some of the Ginter clones are a little too much, like Topps 206 or they're just sort of, you know, rehash of a tobacco set, which is, you know, I guess fine. I mean, I almost prefer that to a Topps flagship, but when it just seems like the originality is not there. So that's when the set needs to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with that. I liked the original Topps T206. I love the original Topps T205. I like the original Topps Cracker Jack. I like the original Topps Turkey Red. I even really, really like the original Topps Gypsy Queen. But every time when it lasted more than a year, they had to do something ridiculous to keep the brand going. And with Gypsy Queen has way worn out its welcome. It is not a pretty set. It's actually quite ugly. It has nothing to do with the original Gypsy Queen set from the 1880s anymore. And it's very popular because there's a lot of good hits in it, which I guess that's one set that you can buy and just keep the hits and literally throw away the cards, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the ugliest set on the market right now, and that's saying something. So I would say get rid of Gypsy Queen, and there's a lot of people who like it. I just don't get it. Now, if it's turned in, it's morphed, it's mutated into its own thing. It's not really a retro set anymore. It's now some kind of weird mutant creature from the deep that's terrorizing the hobby. That's fine. I can go with that. But yeah, the retro sets sequels of retro sets need to go.
And so the reverse of that, what needs to come back. I enjoy the Stadium Club. I'm totally on board with Topps Total. A huge set with everything, just everything in the kitchen sink thrown in. I guess that would be mine. I enjoy Stadium Club, Topps Total.
Yeah, I would say Topps Total, but that's actually become like a joke in the hobby. It's really a punchline. If you even say Topps Total, there's a whole group of collectors who will immediately jump on you. So I've kind of given up on the Topps Total. I'd like to see something like that in the future, but it's never going to happen. So one set I would like to see is Donruss Studio. And that would be an excellent set for a company without a license, because you don't need logos for that set. Look at the original Studio set. It's all portraits and a few goofy posed action shots. So
I was flipping through and I came through some cards and I came across the infamous Kirby Puckett card without a shirt on.
Yeah.
So we just do that. Just have take out some clothes and
just do it. Upper Deck wants to get back in the game. All nude. All nude trading card set. It would sell 1 million boxes. And no logos.
If only. Hopefully someone from Upper Deck has made it to the third hour of this podcast. There are recommendations for all nude cards.
I'm telling you, Hunter Pence's penis on a trading card will be the highlight of 2015. Do it, Upper Deck. Make it happen. Make it happen.
By the way, the Royals did win.
The Royals did win. Excellent. We may not be in the darkest timeline. Sweet. And Tim Hudson lost, so his wife can't cut down the Braves anymore. So.
Yeah.
I love Huddy, but this whole playoffs, his wife has been saying, "Oh, it's so good that he's finally winning in the playoffs." It's like, oh, come on, really? We're dying over here, and you're just twisting the knife. Why? So.
This one's from The Lost Collector. Rank in order. Well, maybe just pick your favorite. Topps Unique came and went very quickly. Topps Total, Topps HD, Topps Stars and Steel, which I had to do some research on that one.
That's a great.
Thinking everything, and then something comes up that you've
Absolutely.
never heard of. Topps Stars or Topps Chips. That's CHIPZ.
Yes. All right, let me take a stab at this. Actually, if you have an idea, go ahead and go with it, because I've got a pretty solid handle. So I'll let you go.
I'll just say that I really enjoyed Topps Unique in the sense of it went almost immediately to discount bin and Target, and so I opened quite a bit of more than I would care to admit, but and I enjoy Topps HD. In the few cards that I have of it, just because the stock is it's got to be one of the thickest base card stock, I would say.
You could kill somebody with that stock.
Yes, you could do an odd job with your hat or a Topps HD card. Kill someone.
Yeah, put that on your house and you've got instant sighting. Obviously my best is Topps Total, simply because I enjoyed that set. I had so much fun ripping boxes of that set. You could go to Target, plunk down your $20, get a blaster of Total, and just rip all day, and then there's a game on the back, so now you can make little teams and play a dumb baseball game with your cards, and it was just a fun little easy to collect set, and I liked it, and I don't know why it's so hated nowadays. Something nefarious must have happened at Topps to turn the tide so badly against Total. But that is obviously my favorite. Topps HD, I will agree, that is a good modern set. It's really hefty cardstock. It's half of it is plastic. It's laminated. Photos were pretty nice. It's a good late 90s, early aughts set. Topps, I gotta go with Topps Stars and Steel over Topps Stars, because Topps Stars was so all over the place. It originally came out as a completely serial numbered set, where every card had a serial number printed on it. And the base cards, I think, were to 9,999 copies. And then there were just oodles of parallels, and those were numbered to thousands of copies each. So the first set was kind of parallel hell mixed in with serial number hell. And then that changed to a normal set with a lot of different levels. I remember there being, the regular set, and then there's a 2-star set, then there's a 3-star set, and then there's a 4-star set, and the more stars, the rarer you got, and the only difference in the card is they zoomed in on the player's face. It was the same photo. It's a very odd set, but I have a lot of Chipper Jones cards. I think I got the whole rainbow of Chipper Jones, which is kind of interesting. And then it turned into something else completely, and I don't even remember that set. But Topps Stars was one of those sets that started out as a simple concept, and then it just sort of went all over the place. Stars and Steel, they had regular cards, and then they had a card made out of steel. And that's it. One card pack was...
Who wouldn't want to buy that?
Was made out of metal, and if you threw it at your little sister, you could probably put out an eye. And it's, and if you see one of those cards just lying in a card box or on a card show table, and you look at it like, what in the world were they thinking? So it's just in basic interesting factor, it's got to go above Topps Stars. Topps Chips, I don't understand.
I don't understand. I'm at a loss.
I guess if I played poker, I would buy a case of it and just rip it, and when my buddies came over for poker,
maybe
we'd bet with Miguel Cabrera and King Felix.
Maybe we're just not old. We're too old.
I guess.
Maybe we're just too old for Topps Chips.
I will say that there's now a football product, which is basically the same thing, except they're helmets. And I would have lost my shit for that when I was a kid, because I was kind of obsessed with logos when I was a kid anyway. And being an 80s kid, you had logos everywhere. You had Fleer stickers, you had logo helmets, you had logo this, logo that. Logos were everywhere. So I will say, when I first saw that and I saw what they were doing, I was like, I don't understand chips, I understand this. And Topps Unique, I can understand loving it because you got it for cheap, but that set was garbage. People keep giving it to me. I keep showing...
They keep saying no.
People just... I get a package in the mail, and there's like 3 or 4 serial numbered unique cards in there, and it's like, why do I have this? It's like...
It's too bad they didn't include, moments and milestones. How about that?
Moments and milestones. I'm a hypocrite because I love that fucking set. I know it's one of my madness moments, but
I do like the blues. I think the blue ones are like, is it
the blue ones
20? 25?
It's 100. Well, anyway, it's 150, and then blues are 25, and then blacks are 10.
I really like the blues.
Blacks are 10. No, blues are 10. blacks are 25, and then reds are 1 of 1. And I bought like half a box hoping to pull that 1 of 1. I never did. But
yeah, you can find those on Check Out My Cards. Free advertising. There's a million and a half moments and milestones cards.
Absolutely. And the thing with that set, yes, it's a dumb, stupid, goofy, ridiculous, just insane set. But I really dig that Art Deco style of the design.
Yes.
I just like it. And there's ways to collect that set where you don't have to deal with the craziness. You do not have to collect every single home run that Barry Bonds hit or whatever. You do not have to collect every single win of Tom Glavine's career. You can very easily do a 1 through 180 base set. There are some severely short printed cards of players whose selected number went up to like 8 or whatever, but I just like the design. I just wish they hadn't goofed it up so badly, but the fact that they did goof it up so badly means that I can find it. So, but yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I hate serial numbered gimmick sets, but I freaking love moments and milestones. First question from Def Gav: do you have a favorite card in your collection? Well, I have too many cards. I cannot choose a favorite. I have a lot of cards that mean a lot to me. 1980 Topps Mike Schmidt is the card I consider the very first one in my collection. The 1956 Topps Hank Aaron I've always loved, just because of, well, Hank Aaron for one thing, and I think the 56 set is just a beautiful design set. And the fact that Hank Aaron is actually on a card with Willie Mays, because the action shot ended up being Willie Mays, but they painted a Braves uniform on him for some reason.
Really?
I do not know,
I didn't know that.
If that was an accident, if that was on purpose, or if somebody just thought, hey, it looked good. But yeah, that's Willie on that card. I've somehow become obsessed with Cookie Rojas, so his 71 Topps card is a favorite, as well as his
it's a great card.
68 Topps card. I just love that portrait of him with a big old grin and those glasses. Mark Lemke eating the orange. That's gonna go on my tombstone if I can convince my wife of it, which I won't. But but you know, maybe I'll haunt my gravesite, and when someone comes up, I'll turn into a vapor and then turn into Mark Lemke chomping on an orange. I don't know, but and then there's other sports. You know, Dominique Wilkins rookie card. I love that. Favorite card from Garbage Pail Kids, Alien Ian. You know, there's just too many cards in my collection that means something to me. I mean, you don't collect for 30 plus years without coming along a lot of favorites, but you know, those are some of the top ones off the top of my head.
My favorite is a copy, or my personal copy of 1985 Topps Roger Clemens rookie. It was the first ever card that I got that I knew I pulled that I was like, oh my god, I got a Roger Clemens rookie card. So I guess it's sort of like my top pull as a kid at the time, other than trying to find, like, you know, Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry rookies. But my mom told me that I shouldn't tape the cards into my notebooks. And so, she didn't know what she was talking about. So I put some tape on the back and put it in my notebook, and years later, took off the tape and ripped the back all up. So that's my personal favorite card that I own. Like just individually that card. You know what I mean? Like I could give a shit less about Roger Clemens really, but that particular card.
There you go. It was your.
Other than that,
it was your personal lesson.
Go ahead.
To always use blue painter's tape.
Yeah, always use blue painter's tape, and always buy Ultra Pro brand storage stuff. Free advertising. Yeah, that's what I would say my favorite all-time card is. But as far as design goes, I really like the Thurman Munson from 1971 Topps. 1952 Topps, #1, Andy Pafko. My obsession with him dates back to he's from a city just sort of a few miles away from where I was born in Wisconsin. So he's sort of like my... so I really sort of got into cards, actually. My grandmother told me this story about a player from Boyceville, Wisconsin, who had a famous baseball card, and I was like 5 or 6 at the time. So that's where it all sort of started. So that's what I would say.
All right. Okay, next question is from Jay Barker fan. If you could produce a card set that's never been done before, what would be the subject? And I can tell you right away.
What's yours?
I would do a Negro League set with as absolutely many cards as you could squeeze in there of every possible player, whether they played for 30 years or if they played for one game. If you've got their name, if you've got a likeness, if you can possibly pull it off, put them in the set to just chronicle that whole period of baseball. And especially anyone who's still alive, try to get them to sign some autographs or take some pictures, do an insert set of every single Negro League player that's still alive, just to get that on record, and hopefully teach people about that period of baseball. Anytime before 1947, and then still for at least a decade afterward, there were still people playing in Negro Leagues, and I really think they should be remembered. And a trading card set would be a cool way to do that.
I would choose. I love political cards, but there are some. I guess I would choose like a truly honest political / current events trading card set. That doesn't get into the ridiculousness of, I don't know, propaganda, I guess I would say. Like the things that, like when you look at those Gulf War sets, they're interesting, but you could go so much further in terms of realism or maybe just sort of like a historical set. I know that, Upper Deck did the Archives series, which they had some pretty interesting events that they focused on, but nothing of any real, I don't know. There are certain events in history that you maybe wouldn't want to cover on the sports cards, I realize, but a completely honest and blunt political card set would be something I would love to see.
That would be interesting. Kind of a current events, politics.
Mm-hmm.
Do a Congress trading card set.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I want a Michelle Bachmann 101.
Nice. Okay. This question is basically in the blog post where I asked people to ask me anything about trading cards. I made a little joke saying, okay, you there, you know who you are, the one typing up the question. Which Hanna-Barbera character would you most like to bang? You or why we cannot have nice things. So no one asked that particular question, but Red Cardboard said, if there was a card of you banging a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, who would you like to be on it?
I had to look up Hanna-Barbera characters on this one.
Yeah, we aren't videoing this, but right now there is a palm, and it is on my face. But you know what?
I choose Space Ghost.
Space Ghost. That's quality. George Lowe era Space Ghost Coast to Coast, or
yeah, definitely Adult Swim Space Ghost.
Okay.
Or no, maybe Brack.
Well, if you're going into Brack, I mean, oh boy.
How about you? What's your?
I mean, I'm still just why do you do these things? So, what the hell, Penelope Pitstop.
There you go.
In honor of Aphex Twin's third track off of the Caustic Window, which is called Mumbly, which is actually a track that has samples from I guess the Great Race. I can't remember the name of the cartoon, but there was a character on there who was the bad guy's sidekick, who was a dog, and he kind of mumbled all the time, and his name was Mumbly. And Richard D. James made a track using that as a sample. So we'll go with Penelope Pitstop.
Hi, Matt F. again. So at this point in recording the podcast, my recorder ran out of free space, and so we stopped there. Thanks for listening. Our next episode should be out in about a week or two, and meeting adjourned.